Okay, I'm going to work some problems that you got wrong on that normal distribution quiz. And most of these that you got wrong, it wasn't because you did not know how to use the empirical rule or the normal distribution curve. It was because you failed to multiply your probability by the population. And here's an example of one. I'm only going to do one because all of them are pretty much the same because you made the same error in all of them. So here it says, suppose the scores of 2,000 college freshmen taking Calculus 101 are normally distributed. The mean score is 74 out of 100 and the standard deviation is 13. Estimate how many grades will fall between 61 and 87. So I draw a makeshift curve without the curve. And then I have my mean, which will fall in the middle. This will be plus 1 standard deviation, plus 2 standard deviations, plus 3. And then to my left, minus 1 standard deviations, minus 2, and then minus 3. My mean, it tells me, is 74. So if I'm going to the right, 74 plus a standard deviation of 13 would be 87. 87 plus 13 would be 100. Then 100 plus 13 would be 113. And then moving to the left, 74 minus 13 would be 61. 61 minus 13 would be 48. 48 minus 13 would be 35. Alright, so they're asking us about the grades that are falling between 61 and 87, so I'm just going to highlight that. And when I highlight it, I see that it's between plus or minus 1 standard deviations of the mean. And by the empirical rule, that would be 68% of your data. So I'm just going to write 68% right there. So what you needed to do was take that probability, because you found the 68. You need to take the probability and write it as 0.68 times the population, or the total number of grades that will be given, times the 2,000. And then that would give you 0.68 times 2,000. And that would be 1,360 grades. So 1,360 grades will fall between 61 and 87. And this is the part that you forgot to do. And that's it for those questions. So when you see those on the exam, or if you should see those on the exam, now you know what else you need to do so that you can get that correct. Alright. So I'm going to skip all of these because they're pretty much the same. And I'm going to go to this one with the Best Buy. Alright, it says that Best Buy wants to know if rewards customers prefer Sony or Fuji cameras. They ask everyone at the sandwich shop next door what kind of camera they prefer. Is the sampling method representative of the entire rewards customers, yes or no? Well, first of all, you answered not enough information, but you do have information because there is a population and you can take a sample from that population. The question is it the best? Since we're talking about a store, Best Buy, why would you be going to an ice cream shop to ask Best Buy customers anything? So that's number one. So you may not have people who are Best Buy and ice cream shop customers. So that's why the answer to this particular question would be no, because even though you're going to get a sample of a population, it's not a sample of the population that you are looking for. So you do have enough information for that one. All right. Moving on to exponential equations and inequalities quiz. Solve using technology just means using a graphing calculator. And for this one, if you use a graphing calculator, you will see that the two graphs intersect at 0. But you can also solve it algebraically. So I'll do it algebraically because I'm having trouble getting my calculator to show me the image on my iPad. Well, it won't upload the picture for me, I should say. Alright, so if I'm doing this algebraically, if I see 1/2, I know I can write that as 2 to the negative 1. So it would be 2 to the negative 1 raised to the x power equals, and this would be 1/4 would be 4 to the negative 1 raised to the x power. So now I need the same base. So I'm going to rewrite 4 as 2 squared. So here I'm going to do 2 to the negative 1, and this is going to be 2 squared times negative 1, all raised to the x power. Alright, so now I have, if I multiply my exponents, I have 2 to the negative x here, and I have 2 times negative 1 is negative 2, and this will be 2 to the negative 2x. Alright, so now I have like bases. If I have like bases and this is an equal sign, that means my exponents must be equal. So I'm going to set my exponents equal, and that would be negative x equals 2x. Alright, now I can look at this and think about it. What does x have to be for both sides to be equal? And in my mind, I say yes, it would be 0. But if you wanted to solve it algebraically, you could always do subtract 2x on both sides. You have negative x minus 2x equals 0. Negative x minus 2x is negative 3x. You solve for x, dividing by 3 on both sides, x equals 0. So even though when they're saying technology, meaning using a graphing calculator, if you graphed it, you will see, and I will try to get that picture up for you. It's just not working at this moment, so that you can see that the two graphs will intersect at 0. Alright, my next one, this is another solve using technology. Again, you would graph it and see where it intersects. There's also a way to do it algebraically, and it has to do with using logarithms. So I'm going to rewrite this just as I did the other one. So I have 3 to the x equals 1/2. I don't need to rewrite that. I'm going to write that as 2 to the negative 1, all raised to the x minus 1. Alright, so now I have 3 to the x equals, and if I multiply my exponents, I have 2, negative 1 times x is negative x, and then negative 1 times 1 is plus 1. If I look right here, I don't have like bases, but I can still solve it. I just have to use my logarithms. So I'm going to take the log of both sides. The log of 3 to the x equals the log of 2 to the negative x plus 1. Alright, when I do that, I use one of my laws of logs that says when I have the log of something raised to an exponent, I can rewrite it as such. X times the log of 3. That's the same thing as the log of 3 to the x. And I can rewrite this one as negative x plus 1 times the log of 2. My next thing I'm going to do is get my terms with my logarithms on one side and my terms on the x with the x's on the other side. So if I divide both sides by negative x plus 1, I get, and I'm going to do two steps at one time. So I have x over negative x plus 1 equals the log of 2 divided by the log of 3. Alright, so here what I want to do is use my calculator. And I have x divided by negative x plus 1 equals, and if I use my calculator and do the log of 2 divided by the log of 3, I get 0.63, and I'm just going to leave it at that. Alright, now I still have to solve. So I am going to do, let's see, what did I have before? X over negative x plus 1. So I'm going to cross multiply. And when I cross multiply, I have x equals 0.63 times negative x plus 1. And even though this is a little lengthy, I'm just showing you this way because I can't use my calculator at this time on my iPad. So I have x is equal to 0.63x, a negative 0.63x, excuse me, plus 0.63. So now I'm going to subtract add negative 0.63x to both sides. So I have 1.63x equals 0.63. Then I have to divide 1.63 on both sides. And I get x equals 0.3871 rounded. So it's approximately where the two graphs meet, and you would kind of see that on the graph, and you can see the exact point when you pull up the table on the graphing calculator. So that's basically how you would do that one. Alright. Alright, then on the data and probability test, looking at this is the same type of question that I went over before that you missed. All of these are basically the same. So I really don't have to do those because it's just like the ones I did in the beginning. So if you look at that one and then go back to the ones that you missed and try them, you should get the correct answer. Again, let me know if you have any questions and I'll be happy to assist you. Have a good evening.